Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I have another book tag for y'all. Since I'm participating in 12 days of Vlogmas, I figured that this tag it had to get done, and it would be very appropriate to do the 12 days of Christmas book tag. It was created by Lizzie Loves Books, and I'll list her video down below. Question number 1, A Partridge in a Pear Tree, favorite standalone book. My first instinct was to say The Hobbit, but yes, is it a standalone? It's part of a series though, so I didn't think I should answer it like that. So I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I read this one Halloween season thinking it was going to be very spooky because it was about a monster, but it was more about facing your inner demons rather than spooky Halloween demons. And by the end of the book, I was devastated. I was crying so hard. And of course I was reading it at work when it was like quiet, and it was just, of course I'm crying at the desk. And any book that can get me to emotionally respond like that, one of my favorites for life. Question number 2, Two Turtle Doves. Fictional, one true pairing, or favorite ship. And I had a tough time with this one. I don't usually kind of like think about stuff like this, at least not recently. I haven't read fan fiction in a long time, but I took some inspiration from the last book tag I just filmed. And I think we're going to talk about Colonel Brandon and Marion from Sense and Sensibility. Marion was really not flighty, but she definitely like followed her heart and went after Willoughby. And in the end, Colonel Brandon turned out to be quite the gentleman, and I loved how well he treated her, and it was just... Question number 3, Three French Hens, favorite trilogy, and I also had a tough time with this one, because again, I went to Lord of the Rings, but if we consider The Hobbit as part of the series, then Lord of the Rings really isn't a trilogy. Now, is it? So I think after like hemming and hawing, I chose the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I really loved the world building in the first book, especially. Like I really loved the idea of being like your abilities coincided with like what type of metals you could actually manipulate and use, and overall that was just a cool concept to me. And by the end of the original trilogy, I was very invested in it. And I say that because after these first 3 books, the universe expanded into other books. But the purpose of this question, we're just considering the original trilogy. Question number 4, Four Calling Birds, favorite fictional beast or creature. These questions are different from the answers I wrote down. Is this the correct video? Am I going to be putting, making up answers on the spot? Favorite fictional beast or creature? I'm going to have to, because I put Lord of the Rings The Hobbit. So this is a different book tag altogether. There's multiple versions of this tag. Interesting. I didn't do my research correctly. Alright, so goodbye. Favorite fictional beast or creature? Wow. My eyelid is twitching. Am I that stressed or trying to think on the spot? I guess fairies. I like the idea that they're very mischievous. There was always like part of the lore, like if something went missing, it's because the fairies took it. And I really like that. I think that's cute and whimsical, and I'm sure I'm not recalling any dark facts about like this lore as well. But we're just going to pretend that they're completely cute, and let me live in that sort of denial. 5 Golden Rings show 5 golden books. For one, we have 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. I thought it was outrageous and fun, and if it has that energy from a holiday romance that I want to see in a book. Our main character got her heart broken, and in an effort to make her feel better, her family puts her on a blind date, and 10 members of her family do this, and each date is vastly different from the last and the shenanigans that happen. I want to see this as a Hallmark movie. Not necessarily Hallmark, just I want to see it as a movie. I want it to be a holiday movie so I can watch it every year now. This one I actually just finished for the Reindeer Readathon that I'm currently participating in. Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. It's a Hades and Persephone retelling set in a more like modern feel. But of course, like the gods and mortals are still very much separated, excuse me. And I love this. The art style, the storytelling. I finished a physical book, put it down, and went immediately online so I can finish off the series because I needed to know what happened next. This one I keep bringing up, especially in the last book tag, but we are on a time crunch, especially that I'm, filming off the cuff now. Wow, No Thank You by Samantha Irby. Samantha Irby is just very funny. She's incredibly relatable. She speaks with such, I don't even know what word I'm looking for. She's just witty and smart, and I am going to buy every one of her books that she currently has out, and if she ever publishes, if she will, at least I'd be very surprised if she didn't. When she publishes something else, I'll be buying that without borrowing it from the library first, because she is now an insta-buy author for me. Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. Winnie the Pooh has a very special place in my heart. It's a very big deal in my family. It's very nostalgic for me, and it's completely wholesome as well. It's just definitely a little cozy, a little crumb of serotonin if that's what you're looking for. So definitely, if we had to choose a children's book for the 5 golden books, this one absolutely fits that bill. I think I'm going to finish off this list with another nonfiction book. You Have the Right to Remain Fat by Virgi Tovar. It's short, it's to the point, it's a great start if you're new to body positivity and to fat activism. And when I read it, I was, and I'm still relatively new in this space. My stomach is growling. Please forgive that. I don't know if you heard that. I hope you didn't, and I just interrupted myself for no reason. But oof. Shh. Like, a lot of what the author said really resonated with me, and this book came at a very good time. I had lost a lot of weight, gained some of it back because of the pandemic, but who didn't? I had lost a lot of weight, and it's interesting how the more weight I lost, the more weight obsessed I became. And this, even though it's so short, it definitely helped me confront some of that. I think it's a really great start if you're new to this, and you should really check it out. 6 Geese Laying, Rotten Egg. What's your least favorite book? This year, I think that will help narrow down my answers. And this year, my least favorite book was The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. I actually rated that 1 star, and I think that's the only 1-star book that I have this year. I thoroughly not enjoyed that. Question number 7. 7 Swans a Swimming. Show a book with water on the cover. Show a book with water on the cover. There's one right here, actually. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I learned about this book when I first started BookTube 5 years ago, and this is actually one of the first reading, group reads that I participated in, and I really loved it, but I loved the twist as a whole. Once you know the twist, it's it's not terrible, but it's also not as wow as I originally thought. But man, that twist really got me, and it was one of my favorites that year. Question number 8. 8 Maids a Milking. What fictional food do you wish you could taste? What fictional food do I wish I could taste? What fictional food do I wish I could taste? I think Lumbus from Lord of the Rings. A small bite supposedly can fill the stomach of a grown man, and I would want to see if that was true. And also, it looks like a very buttery sugar cookie, and I want to know if that's what it tastes like, because I'd be very surprised if the elves made something that not only could fill you, but it was bland. It looked so good in the movies, and I would love to taste that. Question number 9. 9 Ladies Dancing. Favorite dance between 2 characters. I think for this one, I think I'll choose when Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy dances for the first time, and you can tell that there's this tension between them, but they also don't want to admit to that tension. It's just, ooh. Of course, I'm talking about the scene in the movie with Keira Knightley and wow, what's his name? But the one with Keira Knightley. I know everyone loves the Colin Firth one. I prefer the 2005 one with Keira Knightley. I'm sorry. Question number 10. 10 Lords a Leaping. Favorite book to movie adaptation. And the last book tag, I said Sense and Sensibility and The Muppet Treasure Island. So I'm not going to use those as an answer, although those are definitely my 2 favorites. The favorite books to movie adaptation. I guess if I really had to choose on the spot, I think Princess Diaries with Julie Andrews and, of course, Anne Hathaway. And, of course, we have Hector Elizondo. I had to look up his last name. I thought the rest of the cast and how they acted together was really fun. I really enjoyed the movie, but I especially enjoyed how these 3 people interacted with each other. I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. I should. 11 Pipers Piping. Favorite book to movie adaptation soundtrack. Ooh. I think I'm just going to be lazy and just reach for the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. It's fabulous in and of itself. It's very moving, it's inspirational, and I especially love like May It Be by Engin. Because of this song, I went through this huge Enya phase in middle school. And question number 12, 12 drummers drumming. It's the end of the song. What's your favorite book ending? What's my favorite book ending? Because the ending truly does make or break a book experience for me. I think Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman, like that kiss at the end, that got me wanting like, oh, what happens next? Especially like the little freak out too. I'm like, oh no, everything's gonna be fine. So I think if I really had to choose on the spot, because like I said, I didn't plan for this video, because apparently there's multiple versions of this tag. I think this one's the way to go for this answer. There's no tags or no one, like no question that asks you to tag, so I'm not going to tag anyone. The same reasoning as the last book tag. I don't know what people are doing, but if you want to do it, just do it and say, hey, Rachel from Boston Book Biddy did tagged me. Just make sure you tag me so I can watch your video. So that's all I have for you guys. It's completely wild how this tag got completely derailed. I'm going to have to find that original one, at least the original one that I was looking at, and I don't know how the questions were so vastly different. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this wild ride with me. Let me know down in the comments how you would have responded to some of these questions. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.